right, welcome everybody. We're starting off rocking morning market kickoff this morning. Right now, we have the S&Ps up 25 points, trading at 35.58. We get the Nasdaq up 86 points, 11,906. We get the Dow up 217 points, folks. Kicking off Friday action. Friday, November 13th, 8:30 a.m., 60 minutes to go until that opening bell. We got markets rebounding from the losses we had yesterday. Starting things off with the S&Ps. Zooming it in on the action we had towards the close. A little bit of a pop. You trade from the lows of the session. Things getting a little bit dicey as we were making near lows at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time last night. You accelerate higher about 20 points. Right past the close. You actually accelerated all the way until 4:30, climbing up to about 35.50. You back it down to that same exact area at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time last night, currently trading 35.59. All the indices catching a pop. You get the S&Ps up 0.75%. You got the Nasdaq 100 up about 0.75% as well. The Dow right there as well, 0.79% now, in the Russell, 0.8%. You don't often see them, all of them, right? All of them. Basically at about 0.75% in the green, all the indices reacting the same exact way. We'll see if that holds on the open. Gold contract up about $14 right now, $18.87. I talked about it on the programs yesterday. You put this on a daily, the full run it had from March, the lows, the highs in August. You take the Fibonacci retracement, the 382, you're talking about 1847.80. We made it to 1848. We've now bounced a bit, about $40 off those lows, but man, oh man, Monday, quite a day. We accelerated about $120 to the downside in gold at that point. Silver, you're up about 47 cents right now. That's the daily. Back on a 15-minute. You have silver popping even in the last few minutes at 8 a.m. Silver trading a little bit higher there. Just give me one moment. Okay, and jumping around to notes and bonds. Pretty muted action. We've rebounded from where we were on Wednesday. Right now we're up one tick on the 10-year. That's what I was pulling up where we were in terms of the yield right now. You're looking at a yield in the 10-year, 0.88%. We're looking at in the 10-year. Over in Europe right now, the DAX is flat. FTSE down 0.7%. The CAC roll up 1%. Asia, Nikkei down 0.5%. Shanghai down about 0.8%. Okay, what else we got going on? Jumping over to some of the stocks making moves, I'm going to talk about Disney and Draftkings, two of the first. So Disney out with their numbers last night. I did have the article up, I believe. Let me see if we got it. Yeah, right at the start I was having a few computer problems. But Disney, nonetheless, so the numbers they have, maybe I'll pull up one of my updates I sent out for my subscribers this morning. They're talking about, how about 73.7 million subscribers, folks. Disney Plus has. That's up from 57 the last quarter, I think. You're talking about Hulu having more than 10 million subscribers. ESPN 10 million subscribers, Hulu 36, and again, Disney Plus about 73, I believe. Pretty strong numbers. They beat on earnings. They beat on revenue as well. There's Disney's action after the bell last night. They pop higher. They're still dealing with a lot of woes. They were talking about California last night. They cannot open the parks in California. They want to do that. They were up to 144. You're still, this morning, up about $4.50 on Disney and Draftkings. DKNG out with their numbers this morning. Strong numbers there as well. They raised their fiscal year guidance for next year. They beat on revenue. I'm pulling up their numbers. So DraftKings, quarterly loss of 57 cents a share, smaller than the 61 the market was looking for, helped by the resumption of major leagues, major sports leagues. It increased the quarter guidance, projecting 45% year-over-year revenue growth for 2021, and shares are trading higher, as we talked about. We have Cisco out as well. Beat estimates by 6 cents, adjusted quarterly profit of 76 cents per share. Demand for Cisco's products continues to get a boost from the increase in the number of people working from home. Cisco's rocketing higher as well. Check out that DraftKings, right? Yesterday, 41. You're going to open, we're approaching now $5. That's going to be an 11-12% pop for DraftKings on the open. Cisco shares, CSCO is their symbol. There's the pop last night from about 39, 38.67 to 42. We're holding on to a lot of those gains right now at 41.55. What else we got going on? Palantir, right? Is that how you say that? Palantir earned 9 cents a share. They are trading lower this morning, though, compared to 2 cents estimate. While revenue came in above the forecast, they raised its 2020 revenue forecast after signing 15 new contracts. PLTR. Whoops. Yes, PLTR. So out with their numbers last night. I mean, everything I just read you, right? A beat across the board. Earnings, revenue, and guidance, and yet not quite what the market was even hoping for, as they're a bit low to 14.44 right now for Palantir. AMAT out with the numbers, 8 cents above estimates, quarterly profit $1.25. Company issued an upbeat current quarter outlook. AMAT's trading higher. The chip sector, Applied Materials, from about under 70 to 71.77 on their pop. We're going to jump to some of the FANG stocks real quick to check on them this morning. We have Microsoft up a bit this morning. The S&P's up 25 still. Microsoft up about $1. Amazon shares up $19 right now. Google shares up a bit. Netflix up a bit, not really fazed by Disney, possibly growing their base of subscribers. Checking in on social media, Facebook shares up a bit as well. All right, coming out with what else we have going on in terms of equities making moves. So Autodesk said financial results for the third quarter come in above its prior guidance. They are guiding to the upside. ADSK is their symbol. There's a little pop there to 254.98. I'm going to jump around to some of the commodities and check out where we are. Crude oil. Quite the week for crude, but giving back half the gains, basically. You trade from $37.06 to $43.06, $6 exactly. We're now flirting with $40. We've backed off basically $3, right at almost the 50%. I mean, you put this on a Fibonacci, we're going to be right about there, right? Yeah, that 50%, $40.04 are right around that range, and we're sitting just above that level in crude coming into Friday action. All right, we got to take a look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, I believe that's an all-time, not all-time, but most recent. Yes, it is. Another high for Bitcoin. Now, I got the daily up. You put it on a 3-year weekly. This thing just continues. That we're over. You're talking about the highs of 2019. That high was 13,915. Is that right? Yes, 13,915. Now well over that high at 16,360. And man, we're within striking distance of the all-time highs on Bitcoin. Remarkable when you consider that we were down to 5,000 on the March lows on Bitcoin. So you more than tripled in that price. And we got to check in on the VIX this morning. Volatility index 2432, putting it on a 5-minute. You see the fall off yesterday on that VIX, 2431. That was as the market accelerated into the close higher. You had the VIX above 27 as things got a little dicey coming into 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But all is well, folks. The VIX says 2432. We got markets up 25 points. NASDAQ 100 up 81. The Dow up 224. Stay tuned, folks. We're going to be coming back after the break. We'll see what else we have on tap for Friday trading. Stay tuned. I'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&Ps positive by 25 points right now going into Friday trading. I have the week up here. Quite a week it's been. We end last week in the S&Ps, just for some context, about 50 points lower from where we are right now. You go into the close of last Friday, about 35.08. We come into Monday action, 6:45 in the morning, the news of the Pfizer vaccine. We're going to get some news of that Moderna vaccine, potentially even over the weekend. Moderna shares will just jump around as we're taking a look at this. There was your acceleration on the news that we're going to possibly get some news for data from a vaccine for them. I believe that was coming out on Wednesday, that they have accrued enough positive cases in their phase 3 trial. I believe it was like 53, 54 positive cases. The way these trials work, you bring in tens of thousands of people, you wait for people to just contract that virus over the course of their normal habit. Now, the one benefit of the cases that are spiking in this country is that they are able to get positive cases. They're able to get data to test these vaccines. So you have over 50 cases. They're going to come out with data and interim analysis. Nonetheless, Moderna, you check it out, from $70 last week to almost $90 right now. But getting back to the S&Ps, we spiked to 36.68. We give it up just as quickly. You ended the day below where you started the day before the vaccine news. Now, you want some context, folks. Taking a look at where we are on the daily, okay? Not only are we well above the highs pre-COVID, which is basically 3,400. I think it was 3397.50 is what I have on my chart, I believe. 3390, yes, 3397.50. Okay, we'll call it 3,400. So you're still 158 points above that level right now. But on a calendar year, you came into the calendar year at about 3236. You're up 10% right now in the S&Ps. With everything going on fundamentally, does it make sense that 2020 is a 10% banger for being in the market for a broad index like the S&P 500? Still heavily weighted to the NASDAQ one, to the tech stocks, right? They still have, and you know, to pull up there we are, the indices, just so we can show you, okay? When you pull up the S&P 500, there's still a mammoth influence of these big tech stocks, okay? I mean, Apple market cap 2.02 trillion, Microsoft 1.628, Amazon 1.56 trillion this is, okay? Google, I think you add these, right? Yes, you're talking about a couple trillion. Facebook, surprised Facebook's only 783,000. I thought at glance they'd be bigger. But still, pretty broad index when you add everything else in there. You got Walmart in there, $420 billion on the dock. Procter & Gamble, great company, $351 billion. I'm biased, get some Procter & Gamble in my accounts. Johnson & Johnson, $390 billion. Some of these tech stocks, NVIDIA is always showing up there, $332 billion. You get Home Depot, $300 billion. Lowe's. You can see pretty broad index when you add in all these other small companies. The influence is tech. But how high can we really go on the economy opening back up? Now, there's going to be pent-up demand. Excuse me, but you got to keep in mind, this is just giving some context to where we've been, folks. You came into 2020, as I mentioned, at about 32.36, okay? We all remember the banner year we had in 2019 because you came into 2019 at such a low level. Very distorted, though, because of the acceleration you had to lower prices to end 2018, right? That December, Christmas, I think that was the day market was just falling apart at the end of 2018, rebounded dramatically to start off 2019. There was a huge return from about 2,500 to 32.36. You're talking about 700 points in the 2019 calendar year. So you're up 10% in 2020, following multiple double-digit returns in 2019. Now, 2018 was paired greatly by the fact that you had the loss because the acceleration lower, but that was after a 2016 that you went from 2245 to 2700, as in, many years of continual gains, working out the variance of the end of the 2018 dramatic acceleration lower. Keep this in mind when you're trying to figure out risk versus reward for dramatically higher versus dramatically lower. I would say we've built a trading range, folks, that the market is comfortable in, from about 3,600, a hair under, to about 3,200, a hair above. To dramatically break higher would surprise me, at least in the next 3 or 6 months. To dramatically break lower than 3,200 would surprise me as well. There's a lot of pent-up demand in this economy. I mean, imagine when this thing opens. Can't wait. Concerts, travel, just being around groups of people, right? The worry, carefree nature of going outside, hugging everybody, handshakes all around. And it looks like we will get there with the vaccine news of 90% efficacy. Pfizer shares, I mean, this is a remarkable one, folks. In terms of the drop we've had. You closed last week. We're right back to where we were last Wednesday, even almost last Thursday. You come into the week, trade higher to 41.99 on their vaccine news, and you've now traded from 42 to 37.55. You bought this stock near the highs. You just lost 10% on Pfizer, and they might have a vaccine that saves the world. It's that real. BNTX, BioNTech, their partner, pretty similar action. You've traded from 115 down to 101.63, and Moderna, as we mentioned, a little bit of a different story this week, but don't be surprised, folks, if you get that news and you give up some of the gains that you have in some of these stocks right here in Moderna. All right, jumping back to Draftkings, getting into some of their numbers. Strong numbers, as I mentioned. So they're going to raise the fiscal year 2020 guidance to a range of 540 to 560. That was from 500 to 540 was the original reason. I believe the estimate was 528 for that guidance. Let's look in here. Yeah, they don't give the estimates on this one, but they were. And they raised their 2021 fiscal year revenue they didn't raise it. They expect it. But strong numbers. I just want to get into, because fundamentally, to be in the gambling business and already have strong numbers behind you, that's where you want to be, folks, in terms of revenue growth. 750 to 850 million. So, this year, they're only going to do revenue of 500 to 540. Next year, they're going to do 750 to 850. Huge. And as you accelerate higher, jumping over to theirs, DKNG, as I mentioned, close was 41 yesterday. I mean, this thing got ahead of itself for sure, but we're now above $46 in the bid ask. You're looking on this chart, 46.39. We had a trade in here for Rocket Equities and Options. We had a nice bull call spread from 41 to 44. So good action today on their earnings. If you want to try that out, folks, right on the front page of TFNN, check it out. 30-day money-back guarantee. We have equities. We have options in there as well. One of the equities we have in there is Disney. Shouldn't surprise a lot of people with how often I talk about it. Disney, been a great company in there as well. One of the companies I like that we have some trades in is Uber as well. I mean, this run in Uber, folks, might be getting a little bit ahead of itself. It might have some consolidation to do, right? You don't go from 30 to 50 and continue to skyrocket? Probably not, at least until we get more action on this vaccine. You might have another second leg up in the companies like Uber and the companies like Disney. But this was the first acceleration in these companies. They've really been hampered by the restrictions. You will see a second acceleration when all of this becomes a reality and not just a plan. You know, you have Uber, though, 46. You're going to base around who knows where we end up, but definitely way above. Look at this consolidation we had in Uber. You got into here at the end of April, and we jumped around from about $30 to the high 30s, almost to 40, 38.52. Look at how we're making these highs within pennies. And then, boom, just like that. They come out with their numbers. They also, in Election Day, sided with Prop 22, I believe it was, in California. So their workers can be contract employees. Been a good couple weeks for them as well. Stay tuned, folks. Be right back after the break.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&Ps just hanging out at this plus 25-point mark. We've been at this level since about early 6 in the morning. Made it as high as almost 35.70, but look at this basing action. Higher territory coming into the opening bell 35 minutes ago. We got our man Larry Pesmento coming up next. You heard Steve Rhodes ahead of me. Folks, the weekend is a great time to try out any of the products on the front page of TFNN, though. We got a great event going on next Thursday. Basil Chapman, he is going to be in there for an all-day webinar, the Chapman Wave Methodology, the technical tools based on the Chapman Wave Methodology explained live, a detailed all-day online course. 2 sessions from 9 a.m. till noon. He's going to kick things off. You'll be in there 30 minutes ahead of time, ahead of the market opening. I'm going to click over here. Take a lunch break from 12 to about 12:45. You kick things off just around 1 p.m. till 4 till 4:30. Review the session. He's going to be talking about basically his entire trading system, folks. He's going to be going over how he trades the markets, the technical tools he uses, alternate choices of positions based on request, how to use technical tools that can initiate and keep you in the trade. Each technique discussed, practiced in detail, question and answer. The cool thing about what's going on with Basil, so he did one of these in April as well. For those that attended that course in April with Basil, you're going to get to go to this one for free. So what's great is that if you sign up for this course, you're getting a great environment. You're going to have people who attended the previous class. They'll be able to participate. It's a great learning environment, taking questions, watching how the market's moving. So that is all on Thursday. Coming up, if you sign up, you gain a month of the opening call, $149 value. Basil's got, I think, 6 or 7 different archive webinars just as part of the opening call that you gain access to. All of that right on your account page. As I mentioned, any newsletter, whether it's the Gold Report, he's my dad, he's got a great newsletter, comes out Monday. Steve Rhodes, Market Timer of the Year in 2018, number 2 in 2019. Check them all out, folks. Larry Pesavento, Fibonacci 24/7 under the newsletters tab on TFNN. Stay tuned, folks. Live trading